Sinapis Business Competition is back with the same goal to award and recognize talented Kenyan entrepreneurs who are breaking barriers in pursuit of their lifelong dreams. Just like the mustard seed in Mark chapter 4, Sinapis aims to grow these businesses into successful kingdom enterprises by empowering and equipping the entrepreneurs both spiritually and professionally.
Entrepreneurship is not something that is taught extensively in schools. So we have unique programs that enable them to think through what they need to know before going on this journey and how they can navigate through the challenges that they are facing. So we believe that successful entrepreneurs is the solution to the current problems of unemployment, corruption, and many other challenges that we face at a national level, let alone the fact building a strong and vibrant economy.
Last year, 8 entrepreneurs made passionate pitches with the hope to walk away with the ultimate prize. But Catherine Mahugu of Chiswara and Desmond Nganga of ICT Fire and Rescue walked away as the winners. This year, 7 entrepreneurs from the early stage and SME stage are not only looking to scale their business, but to walk away with a 1 million shilling reward provided in each category.
These finalists have gone through a rigorous process, a successful application process. They have been interviewed and gone through 3 practice pitches.
With 2 million shillings at stake, these entrepreneurs have to have their pitches pitch perfect.
In addition, some of the finalists will get to join our Fast Track Accelerator program, where they will receive one-on-one consulting with their businesses.
Holding fort at the judging panel are 5 well-established entrepreneurs who are ready to bring their expertise. Starting the lineup is Edwin Mungai, CEO, Kenya Climate Innovation Center KCIC. Edwin Mungai has vast experience in developing financing mechanisms for SMEs with special interests in the agribusiness, renewable energy, water and sanitation sectors. Audrey Obara, Senior Investment Manager, Sweet Fund International. Audrey Obara is responsible for sourcing new investment opportunities, managing the investment process, evaluating performance of portfolio companies, and identifying and building relationships with partners and stakeholders. Daniel Kamau, CEO, Fusion Capital Limited. Daniel Kamau's expertise spans from real estate investing, private equity and market debt investing and management, deal organization, structuring and negotiation, due diligence, financial modeling, and board management. Karen Serem Waithaka, Investment Director at Global Partnerships Social Venture Fund. Karen Serem Waithaka works as an Investment Director for an Impact First Fund, Global Partnership Social Venture Fund. The fund invests in enterprises that directly impact the lives of those living in the low-income bracket. Julian Kula, founder at EdamX and chairman of Beula City Limited, amongst others. Julian is the chairman of, amongst other companies, Beula City Limited, a group he founded to develop housing projects across Africa. He is also the founder of EdamX, a fintech company dedicated to providing modern solutions to current consumer challenges. Now that we've met everyone, let's get on with the business at hand.
Welcome, Beatrice, to Sinapis Business Competition 2021. And we are looking forward to hear about gratitude. Yeah. You do have 8 minutes to go through that. And the judges here will have 8 minutes to ask you clarifying questions. Take it easy, and the floor is yours now.
3 years ago, I was daring enough to start the first breastfeeding clothing line here in Kenya. I decided to outsource, and when I started, I was coupled with a lot of challenges just at the execution stage. And these are challenges that many other entrepreneurs out there, whenever they are thinking of starting a clothing brand, are challenged, and some of them don't even start. So for me, one of the challenges that I got a manufacturing company that the minimum order that they could accommodate for me was 1,000 pieces. I was determined, and I said, let me start. The second design, another 1,000 pieces. Remember, I've not tested the market. So By the time I'm doing the third design, I was broke. By the time I was now doing the third design, it took too long in that company. By the time I was doing another bulk production, another like 2 months was gone. So those were the challenges, honestly, I was facing. And I was very frustrated, and I was like, why can't I start my own production team? I was determined, and I was like, even if it's too early, I didn't even have the financial capacity, expertise, or even operational skills, but I brought the team together. COVID hit and our sales started to drop. So I thought about it. 3 years ago, I was facing these challenges. I need to reinvent myself so that I may be able to survive in this market. So I decided, let me open doors to other brands that they may be able to start their first clothing lines. And that is how Gratitude Stitch Plug was born. We accommodate at least a low minimum order for you that is still very affordable. 2, we offer quality design, stitching, and finishing at the shortest time possible so that you can be able to go to market. Apart from that, the same way as somebody held my hand, we're also offering coaching and mentoring of brands so that they may be able to come up. We're also increasing our capacity to meet now the growing demand. Currently in Kenya, the annual clothing spend is around 197 billion Kenya shillings. And that is a mix of second-hand, imports, and made in Kenya. The ones that you are targeting is the made in Kenya brands, that's around 59.3 billion. And the small group that you are looking at, the creatives there, are around 9 to 18 billion Kenya shillings. We are asking for 6.9 million because we want to increase in capacity, efficiency, and increase our profit margins. In the next 3 to 5 years, we are saying we are going to increase our capacity and create more jobs, around 120 jobs. And also we are planning on getting an EPZ license, and this is to help us be able to help the local brands transit to export and be able to meet the bigger international markets. Yeah.
The 120 people that you want to employ in 2023, what's the makeup, women versus men? The second question, coaching and training, is that something you want to start charging into the future and formalizing it?
Yes, we want to charge, the first question, the 120 is not in 2022, at least by 2024 we'll have grown to that level of capacity. And then we are going to mix at least mostly around a third will be men and 2/3 we are planning on women. Okay. Yeah.
And coaching and training?
Coaching and training, we want to at least put a small fee so that it's sustainable, and we want to be able to give it, we want to bring many brands that already have been running to be able to, not just me, but to be able to bring the brand owners to talk to them.
Last year, I had a close relative of mine who was diagnosed with a condition that required them to switch to gluten-free foods in order to manage their condition. The biggest challenge was in the affordability of the gluten-free flours, whose prices range from 400 to 700 shillings compared to their gluten alternatives that sell at 80 shillings per kilogram. Moving deeper, I realized that it was not just my relative, but 395 million people in the world require to be 100% gluten-free in order to survive. 4.3 million of this population is in Kenya, and we have an additional 17 million Kenyans who, because of their current conditions, have to balance their gluten intake with gluten-free foods so as to manage the condition. This population is growing at an average of 9.5% per annum. And feeding this population requires 43,000 metric tons of gluten-free flour every year. 55% of that is from whole grain and 45% is starch-based. 40% of the starch-based gluten-free flour demand is yet to be met, and this is equivalent to 7,000 metric tons, valued at 1.5 billion Kenya shillings. This huge gap exists because 80% of the farming population is comprised of smallholder farmers who, despite producing these products, end up experiencing huge post-harvest losses amounting to billions of Kenya shillings. 55% of what goes to waste could actually be salvaged through dehydration, but unfortunately this is not achieved because the smallholder farmer lacks the technical know-how and the equipment in the form of dehydrators to convert this fresh farm produce into products that have a longer shelf life. On the other side, we have gluten-free food processors who would have otherwise provided a market for these smallholder farmers, but unfortunately they experience challenges of inadequate capital in acquiring the dehydrators, enough dehydrators to be able to convert all the fresh farm produce into gluten-free foods. They end up relying on government facilities provided by Kirdi and Kalro. But unfortunately, because of the large number of enterprises that are relying on these limited facilities, it becomes a challenge for them to operate sustainably and meet the demand consistently. Taliana Foods Limited, therefore, empowers the smallholder farmers with dehydrators in groups of 15 to dry the farm produce at source and convert it into dried flakes that they supply to Taliana Foods for milling and processing into gluten-free flours that are supplied to gluten-free food processors. We compete with the large, small, and medium millers who, despite having the milling capacity, cannot be able to produce 100% gluten-free flours, starch-based, because of the contamination that takes place since they are milling a lot of gluten products in the same facility. And a small amount of contamination is detrimental to the health of the person who is required to be 100% gluten-free. We believe that in the next 3 years, we can be able to tap 10% of the market share of the starch-based gluten-free flour demand. And this is with an increasing annual sales volume and earnings before interest, tax, and depreciation over these 3 years, and having a total of 62 farmer groups, each of 15 members in our supply chain by the 3rd year. This is with an investment of 20 million Kenya shillings, broken down into investment on dehydrators that will be supplied by Vision Fund and internal investment to enhance our processing capacities and bring back the smile of our loved ones by making gluten-free foods more affordable and reducing post-harvest losses for our farmers.
I like that you're working with smallholder farmers. How do you increase the number of smallholder farmers?
Okay, so increasing the smallholder farmers, there are those that are working already with the partners that we are dealing with. But we also are working towards partnering with more organizations that actually support the smallholder farmers. And so that will be a way of also increasing the number of farmers to be able to tap onto the 930 smallholder farmers that we want to work with by the 3rd year.
Okay. One last question. Are you considering export market?
Yes, to some extent we are later on, and that is why one of the partners who is Ashoka Fellows, that's one of the key areas that we are looking into in the long term. Yes.
Sido is an innovative way to automatically save and invest every time you spend. Our flagship product is a digital platform that rewards you with loyalty points for every item you purchase and pay through the platform. After which, we automatically save and invest the loyalty points in secure financial assets, such as treasury bills and treasury bonds that will earn you up to 10%. How does it start? All you need to do is dial our USSD code at 0 charges and buy airtime, which is the only product we're offering at the moment. Then you'll pay directly from your M-Pesa at 0 transaction cost. Yes, 0 transaction cost. The next thing we enable you to do is to top up. This is a direct deposit you make into a digital investment account for as little as 20 shillings via your M-Pesa, which will now be invested and earn you up to 10% in return. Then it's a locked investment account. Upon maturity, which is a 12-month lock-in period, you'll be able to withdraw. Judges, I'm happy to report we've been able to pilot this. And in 6 months, we've been able to capture 700 users on our platform without any paid advertising. Our pilot gave us our key market. And this is an underserved population of the 1824. This is where financial habits are being formed. They're predominantly in university and college, and they're not being served mainly by the mainstream financial service providers. Through our projection, we can capture 9% of the 6 million Kenyans, 18-24-year-olds, 500,000 in market, which will give us a revenue of 3.3 billion. However, going forward, we want to build relationship with merchants, whereby we can be able to give our users more loyalty points that can be saved for every spend they make at partner outlets, which will help us acquire our more customers. For us, we're in the financial space, and we are competing against established players. That's a given. However, we are ahead of a competition as the platform that is just turning loyalty points into automated savings and investment. And also, we've now introducing the minimum 20 shillings to start an investment cycle, and also the minimum top-up again of 20 shillings.
Thank you, Sydney. Well, I know the question on your minds must be, what do the projections look like? From 700,000 users, we hope to grow this to 250,000 users in just 3 years. Our break-even point at 100,000 will have hit it. Revenue projections from where we are will grow to 2 billion. 60% of the 17.5 million that we are requesting will be spent on marketing to ramp up marketing activities in social media content creation, and 20% will be used in product development. 10% and 10% will be used in hiring talent and also in releasing other key features in our operations.
Consumers are spending and spending and spending. And in our platform, the more they spend will increase their savings. We'd like to invite you now to join us in this journey of building a financial technology company that will impact 100 million lives financially through increasing savings and investments.
The first thing that caught me was that 5% versus an 8% margin. That's because you're using a third party right now for integration.
Yes.
On the part of the validation model, I mean, it's validated, yes, the scaling up. Are you going to, the 17.5 million you need, is that to basically increase your marketing and sales in that perspective? Do you believe that's going to be enough to scale, or are you going to be looking to raise more money after that?
Thank you, Judge Julian. That's a very good question. It's our conservative to get us to 250,000 users. However, with that, we'll be able to further validate the model and do a follow-on once we scale at that point.
Will Beatrice Muihaki's pitch to help the local brands get exposure scoop the win? Or will it be James Nyamai's gluten-free nation? Has Sydney and Charles deposited a convincing pitch? Stick around for these answers as the rest of the entrepreneurs prepare to face the judges. To get more details and to register to Sinapis, SMS SP to 22845. And we're back to Sinapis Business Competition 2021. The competition has started off on a promising note, but it's not over yet. These two are hoping to make a winning case.
Gentlemen, welcome, and it's great to have you here. This is Deed, and we look forward to hearing from you. You have 8 minutes to present. Over to you.
Thank you so much. My name is Denis. And my name is Edwin, and we are Deed. Now, let me introduce you guys to two individuals. We have Joseph, a college student enrolling for his first year of university. And we have Mary, a small business owner in Nairobi. Now, both Joseph and Mary, for their day-to-day operations, will require one key device, a computer. Joseph, obviously for his schoolwork, and Mary to efficiently run her business. However, as they approach the purchase of this computer, they will encounter three distinct challenges. Number one, they probably do not have enough money to go for a brand new computer. They'll be forced to go for a refurbished computer because they are typically 30 to 40% cheaper than brand new computers. Number two, they could not have enough education on the best match of their needs and their wants on this device. And number three, they will be approaching the purchase of this computer in a marketplace that is, number one, very disjointed, very fragmented, and frankly, far too broken. That's where we come in. At D Digital Solutions, we are wholesale computer refurbishers with an end-to-end refurbish-to-sale process with a strong customer value proposition with extended warranties and guarantees and customer education. And Joseph and Mary will benefit in the following ways. First and foremost, we will guarantee them above market-grade computers at below market prices. Number two, we will educate them on the kind of computer that will best match their wants and their needs. And number three, we will give them what we call a lifelong after-sale value that involves having us either buy back their older computers for cash or having them trade them in for newer, more advanced models. Now, in our market, it happens that it is very attractive because in 2020 alone in Kenya, the IT market share, both hardware and software, stood at $635 million US. Of this, $360 million US went to the computer hardware sales segment, and of this half, or $180 million estimated, went to the refurbished computer market. Currently, we have two customer segments, the retail and the wholesale. Currently, retail accounts for 40% of our sales and wholesale accounts for 60% of our sales. We reach our retail segment through online advertisement because we have a huge digital presence, and we reach our wholesale segment through strategic partnerships with online marketplaces and countrywide laptop distributors. Now, we have competition in two categories of firms. There are those firms that actively refurbish but do not commercialize, and there are those firms that sell ready-made refurbished units. Now, the difference between us and them is that we refurbish and we retail. So we're able to guarantee quality and we're able to guarantee competitive prices for our clients. We also have a very strong customer value proposition where we do consultative client education. We give extended warranties for up to 1 year, whereas our competition does that for 3 months. We also have a lifelong after-sale services where we buy back your machine after the life cycle of the machine is done, and also offer trade-ins for newer models, securing our supply base for refurbishing. We project that in the next 4 years, our growth will grow by 13% year on year on. Our key drivers will be one, widening our supply base and increasing our inventory, because currently we have unmet demand from the online marketplaces. We also increase our production and technical capacity and aggressive sales and marketing. In the last 1 year to now close to 2 years, we've had impact. So for every machine that goes into a life cycle of 4 years, you save the earth 160 kilograms of carbon emissions.
What impact did COVID have on your business? Because you launched in 2020 when there was a lot of online learning. Yes. And are you seeing that impact carrying forward, or some of those sales would drop off?
Now, COVID in essence was a perfect storm for us, because I'm sure you guys know that, number one, most of those people who are in different institutions were forced to work from home. These people were forced to buy devices to enable them to effectively work from home, computers. And number two, most households experienced a decrease in income, price. That's where we came in. We offered competitive prices for quality devices that were the device of the season.
How do you ensure that what you're buying is not stolen property?
First and foremost, we have to verify our suppliers. Most of our suppliers are not local. They source from international markets. And also, as we partner with the big online marketplaces such as Jumia and Kilimall, these are the machines that they have already sold to their clients. So we already verify that these are actual genuine units. Okay. Basically.
Okay. So it's not that for me I'd come and sell you my laptop and say, please.
No, okay. There's a model to it.
All right.
7% of the consumers of poultry prefer kienyeji to broiler. On the other side, when you look at what we see in the marketplace, daily when you go around in the marketplace, you don't see the kienyeji chicken. Today, if you left here and your kids call you and told you, Mom, your daddy, come with chicken, what goes into your mind? Not kienyeji. And if they told you kienyeji, you're taken back. You're like, where do I get it? But the only one place you're sure of is the marketplace, where there's the one guy who sells it there in the most hygienic way and slaughters it there behind there, puts in the paper bag that is banned by the government and gives it to you. If you're caught out there, you don't know. He doesn't care. He's not part of it. That's the story. So the biggest problem is 2 out of every 3 supermarkets would want to stock kienyeji chicken, but they don't know where to get it. And if they get it, it is just difficult to have a supply system. And for those who get it, like you, when you go to the market today, it's so unhygienic. And you just don't, you're not comfortable. But do you have a choice? You don't. You still get it from there. So as an organization, what causes this? We've been able to identify that on one side, we have the buyer who is buying it quite unhygienically. And on one side, we have the farmer who is producing it at a very, very, very under very poor conditions, where he's paid very low for his chicken, number one. Number two, he cannot feed his chicken in the most nutritious way because of the cost of it. Who makes the money? The broker in between, from the village to the marketplace. There's a broker at every point for chicken. So what's our solution? Our solution is we are providing an end-to-end supply system, an end-to-end supply chain where we are controlling from the production to the marketplace in the most hygienic way. And how are we doing this? First of all, we are doing an incubation process in the most cost-effective way using solar energy. We have a farm that we're doing our own incubation. We also work with farmers. We're using LPG gas for brooding. That brings down our costs, because the whole idea is to work on cost reduction. Second part is production. We have a co-dependence with farmers, where we are giving the farmers inputs in terms of feed, in terms of chicks, in terms of training. Then in return, they're giving us raw material for our feed production and grown chicken. These grown chicken are as a result of the chicken that we give them as chicks. And we are selling to them. We are not buying it from them. We are not giving it free. We are selling it from them. Then the combination of the farmers who are outgrowers and also ourselves who are the producers, we bring it to our grading center. We slaughter some for the packaged for the restaurants and hotels, and others we sell as live birds. How are we selling the live birds? And that's the biggest question. Now, this chicken, you find it in the marketplace, and it's part of our franchise system, where we are saying we are going to bring the chicken to the market using a franchise system by putting a container in the market, which has an abattoir in itself, where you can go and buy it hygienically. When you live here and somebody tells, your child tells they want chicken, you can quickly call the abattoir, the small guy in the franchise in the marketplace, tell him, chinja for me tano, I'll pass by there, they're packaged in this format, you carry and go home. You feel nice about it. In terms of use of funds, if we are able to, we are winning this, by the way, we are winning together, and very important to note that. What we want to do, we want to increase our franchises. We are looking for capital because the moment you sell supermarkets, what do they want? They want a credit period, and we need money for that. Also to increase our incubation. In terms of impact, we are working with farmers. As I said, we've increased our income to the farmers by almost twofold, from 52,000 to 72,000 shillings. In summary, kienyeji is the best product that can be used to change people's lives. Trust you me today, if you focus on kienyeji chicken, we'll be able to take away poverty from many families.
With the supermarkets, why are you interested in supermarkets? Because then they will give you 30, 60, 90 days. They will ask for 90 days credit period. Yeah. Whereas if you go the direction of franchised, hopefully branded shops, then you're talking cash business.
We are focusing on the supermarket because if you look at what I said in terms of our customers, it's a top to the bottom person, they're both our customers. It's very, very difficult for some people to walk into the marketplace and pick their chicken, but they would walk to the supermarkets.
Will Dennis and Edwin's deeds earn them the grand prize, or will it be Charles Mokaya's talent as the chicken whisperer that will bag the cash? Don't count your chickens before they hatch, they say. See you after the break. To get more details and to register to Sinapis, SMS SP to 22845. We are near the end of Sinapis Business Competition 2021. 2 more contestants are yet to face the judges. Let's hope these exercises carry him to the million.
We know it takes sweat and blood to build business like the one you built and to the levels of turnover that you build Capital Bakery. But we're here to hear more. So enjoy.
Have you ever been in a position whereby you just want to take bread for breakfast, but something crosses your mind to say, oh, I don't think bread is healthy for me to eat? What then happens? Welcome to Capital Bakery, the home where we're going to redefine the bread and the bread healthiness in the market. People are becoming more conscious about the health they take and what they're taking. Most of the bread in the market happen to be the unhealthy bread, and indeed, because they are simple carbohydrates, the majority of the breads are there. We're here to define and give a solution to this. Our solution, simple. Well-branded bread that gives us a definition of a space. We want to be known in this space of bread as the people providing the most healthy bread that you can ever take. So that if you had gone away from taking bread, we want to bring you back and you enjoy bread knowing that you're taking an unhealthy thing for the thing. Our bread is well-branded, and foremost, something of the price scares off people. We have a margin, good people are scared of price, so we need to balance the nutrition and the price that do model. Does this have any space in the market? So how does this space, when it's simplified, look like in terms of the competition? We have the products that are always, there's bread everywhere. In every supermarket you get bread, and other place you get bread, but we're defining the place to simplify it. We have the non-nutritious bread on the end. The other bread is known just for other reason, not for the health reason. So where we want to jump in, we're jumping in that space, the white space, to occupy and to be known for the health reasons, whereby we, in the competition, cleaned up space. If the other players in the market, we want to be known, and so far they're not established in the same volume. The model, we have modeled our business so that to be able to get that, we model such that we have the 2 niches of people incorporated, the price sensitive and the middle class who happen to be more ingredient sensitive. So our process starts with getting them to get the raw materials from the manufacturer, gets to the unique formulation to make sure that by the end of the day we have the complex carbohydrate nature, which is the health part of it. Then you get a product out, they go to our distributors, they use the distribution channels that we have established. At current, we go through the distributors and they go to the Dukas, which happens to carry the 80% of the sales, and that is our model of selling, and that is the space we are marking. There are other means of direct selling to to get the client, to get the other niche of the market. In future, we're looking at the progression in the same space, that coming soon, we need to have the first ATM, it's an automatic teller machine for the bread, and also incorporate other carriers for the bread business. And indeed, for faster scaling even, go to the franchise model to get in that. We established in 2015, oh yes, and since then we started with 0 distributors, 140 loaves. We have managed to scale that to 25 distributors in the region, over 7,000 loaves bakery, and employing over 52 employees. Financially, how does this look like? The investment you're looking at is a 70 million need. First of all, we need to revamp our factory to get to another height, to get to occupy more volume. And you look at our governance, we need to enhance it and make some key hiring so that as we are scaling, we're making higher volumes that need more elaborate systems of the same distribution network, and of course the working capital that we work with. The growth plan is this. We are currently in Mombasa and Kilifi and Kwale. Then we move with the investment, using our model, we move to the Taveta as we're increasing our presence in the 3 previous counties. The further scaling, with further investment, we move to the other counties of Kajiado and finally moving to Nairobi.
In terms of challenges, what challenges are you facing? Because it sounds like all is going in the right direction.
Actually, there's no business without challenges, yeah? If you look at even they're trying to scale up and move to look at other models of distribution, is try to mitigate what the current has taught about the cost of distribution. Yeah, you look when you are growing, but the cost of distribution tries to bring you down. So and when you try to make an entry into the market, the competition try to see what is eating it. So the competition is always pushing there. The cost of its business, the running business, the cost you have to keep. So we tend to keep in watch of that. And as part of our looking at, if one of the points, the key hiring and enhancing of our governance, we'll be able to get advisors on board and I think so that they worry about looking at the big picture out there as you worry about making sure that bread is consistent and it's the same one you're getting at.
Food is associated with all sorts of pleasure. There's always a good feeling that comes around food. Birthdays, anniversaries, coffee dates, and even breakups. It's always around food. But there's something about food that when it's placed at a convenient place, then it becomes accessible to its target audience. That is the art of street food. From Nigeria, we have moi moi, zege in Tanzania, Rolex in Uganda, and our own smoky mayai. These are very convenient, affordable, and quick street food that are for all ages and people from different social backgrounds. But how available are these food on the streets, really? We Kenyans love street food, but we don't trust it. Hygiene and sanitation have become the biggest barrier and risk. When was the last time you happily enjoyed your street food without worrying about hygiene or stomach upset? We noticed that 85% of the population ate street food as often as 3 to 5 times a week. 55% of the overall population were really concerned about the hygiene standards of the street food. 45% of this population were willing to pay a little more extra if better services were going to be offered. We, Candy Fresh Kenya, would want to solve this problem, but we realize that as we'll be solving this problem, we'll also be creating an empowering component for a very significant segment in Kenya, the jobless Kenyan youth. So what we've done, we set aside ourselves as a social enterprise with an innovation around food on wheels concept aimed at delivering safe and affordable street food while also creating employment opportunities for these youths. How we've done it, we've ensured that we source, we prepare, and we package this street food at a highly standardized place. We have been able to source our supplies from highly accredited institutions like Farmers Trades Limited, Imboga, and Chicken Basket. The supplies are then brought to our storage unit in Kisumu and Kakamega. From the storage units, we ensure proper refrigeration of these consumables. Our storage unit is then able to supply our kitchen units in both towns. We prepare. We have incorporated these youth as street food vendors to come in, be able to purchase these goods, go sell to the consumers. And what we offer to them the food vending trolley at $1 daily, where they are able to lease to eventually buy these products. We also offer vendor training with other institutions like the Kenya Chambers of Commerce and the Young African Leaders Initiative. We have then reinvested these profits to see us purchase a trolley at a time and grow our vendor base to 45 in 2 towns. We have increased our vendors' average income by 40%, and through our COVID-19 resilience program, we've been able to sustain over 100 vendor households. We are requesting for 6 million Kenyan shillings in investment to see us upgrade our Kisumu kitchen to be able to serve 30 more vendors, 2 more kitchens in Nakuru and Eldoret towns by 2022, marketing and consumer brand awareness, as well as inviting our investors to sit in our advisory board. This will enable us in 2022 be in 4 towns, having generated 65 million Kenyan shillings and created over 100 jobs. In the next 3 years, we will be in 8 towns, having created more than 200 jobs, with doubled our revenues.
How do you ensure that a vendor with a Candy Fresh trolley doesn't supply their own food? Because they are branded Candy Fresh, and then, how do you make sure that they only purchase from Candy Fresh?
Thank you. What we have been able to offer is quite different from what they used to have before. Because with how we offer preparation and efficiency. This is something that it took them time to prepare. So right now, when they think about saving time vis-a-vis the sales that are going to come by them getting from us, the assurance is there. So they prefer actually getting from us because we are saving on their efficiency and the time, and through us, they're able to make a little more than the way they used to do before.
Okay. And do customers know Candy Fresh? Does a customer walk in, say, I want to buy from this trolley because I know it is Candy Fresh, or have you built a loyalty base?
We are looking into, number 1, creating brand awareness of Candy Fresh, because there are already existing institutions in the market that are well known for that. But what we have done is we have set our sights by, number 1, having very clean trolleys, because across the streets we have all kinds of trolleys available. So once our consumers are able to spot our trolleys, number 1, by being clean, number 2, by just having a brand of our own, they will notice that that is Candy Fresh. And again, we offer more products than what the other vendors are offering.
All the contestants have pitched, and now it's time for the judges to determine whose enterprise stood out.
So that's part of
So I think they need to refine the business
Yeah.
model a bit better.
From the thought of scaling. I think they definitely have something amazing is doing this
on my side.
The healthcare system by managing your diabetes,
So,
managing your
but
pressure.
With an agonizing and analytical deliberation, the decision has been made.
So friends, I think we are in agreement. I think it seems like we have made it to the shortlist, and even from the shortlist we have kind of a winner, right? Yeah.
This is true.
Yes.
And now, it's time to find out which 2 entrepreneurs will walk away 1 million shillings richer in investment.
Very good. So finalists, you did a great job today. It was quite exciting. And we've seen you progress over the last couple of weeks, and it just brings us such joy to see where you came to, and given where you started from. So just as we begin to move towards the final award, let me first of all thank the judges. You guys were great. You guys have got full plates, but you did a wonderful job, and I think both affirming what our finalists are doing, as well as asking hard questions. And there are hard questions to continue to address. But thanks very much for your time. I want to thank the KTN staff. You guys have done a great job as well. But most importantly, you, the finalists, this is really your day. And you've done an admirable job, and we're just so excited. Sinapis loves to be able to come forward and support individuals like you. those that really distribute passion or display passion for what they do, which you each do. Those that really drive for excellence, excellence in how you design and build your businesses and how you lead your businesses. And that is what each of you do as well. So we're just excited to have been able to come alongside. As Sinapis, we strongly believe that, that living one's faith out in the way one leads a business is really the way, the best way to truly share the love of Christ and see God's kingdom expand. We did have to land on winners, and ultimately we did. So let me start with the first group, the early stage. And again, after tough deliberation, could have gone one of three ways on this, but I think everyone's very excited that we eventually landed on James. James of Taliana. Yep, congratulations. So we now move to the next group, just as hard to debate. And again, we had four of you that were just tremendously strong. And again, having to work through this, but where the judges landed on this was Caroline of Candy Fresh.
To get more details and to register to Synapse, SMS SP to 22845.
It's overwhelming. I think that is one word. It is super overwhelming.
This is just the beginning of the journey. And so I'm looking forward to bigger and bigger achievements.
Sinapis is extremely passionate about creating a community of entrepreneurs. We're very passionate about keeping them engaged, and we offer them various areas of support through each and every stage of their entrepreneurship journey. So whether you are an aspiring entrepreneur who has a business idea, or you're an entrepreneur who has been running your business for a few years and feels like you're stuck and you have the potential to scale, or even if you've been in business for close to a decade and over and you know that your business has a lot more potential to reach very, very huge instances of growth, we're here to support you. So all you have to do is just go to our website, www.synapis.org, to learn about the various programs that we have to offer you.
To get more details and to register to Synapse, SMS SP to 22845.